Bryan, who or what is Geosun?
Geosun is a company founded by a group of 4 of us when we stumbled across the idea of multiple source energy recovery on farms. So after a period of research, we established the company and hit the market in the later part of last year.
So there's 3 different forms of energy?
Yes, we start with the principle that there is enough energy on any particular farm in this country on any particular day to satisfy the energy requirements of that property. Unfortunately, it's not always in the form that you would like. So by using 3 different forms of energy recovery, we're able to provide it in a format that the farmer can use. The farmer just pushes the button or turns the handle or opens the valve. He doesn't have to worry about where the energy is coming from. What our system does is capture the energy and put it in a format that he needs to use.
So what are the 3?
Well, we all start with the sun. The sun is the vital ingredient in a property like this to grow the grass, and it's the greatest energy source we have on the planet. So solar energy is obviously an important one. And from that you can see what I mean by each form having its advantages or disadvantages. Obviously solar energy is not so good during the night and on cloudy days like this. From there we go to geothermal energy exchange, and again we think of the sun as a source of that. A lot of the sun's energy doesn't go into grass, it doesn't do anything else, it just heats the surface of the planet. And that energy is stored there for us by the planet. So by finding a way to exchange that energy to bring it to the surface, then that's another form we can use for heating or cooling. And the third type, again started with the sun, because the sun was necessary to grow the grass. The cow ate that grass, turned some of it into milk and some of it into waste. And that waste still has energy in it. And from that, through the anaerobic digester process, we can turn that waste into biogas. Now biogas is an interesting material, and you can use it for generating electricity or heat, but it's very good to store, very easy to store. So there's another reason why you would have 3 types. They all have their advantages, and when you put them together, you get a self-sufficient energy system on a farm.
So you're tying all 3 into one?
Yeah, that's really the key to it, Rob. All the technologies I've just mentioned are not new. They have been around the world in various forms for many, many years, and in the case of biodigesters for hundreds and hundreds of years. What is new is the ability to bring them all into one network, so the farmer doesn't have to think when he turns on the irrigation pump where that particular electricity is coming from. All he needs to know is that it's working. That idea of a common network that the energy can be put into is the real crux of what we've achieved.
Now looking at this farm, you've got several irrigators, you've got probably several homes, and you've also got a dairy shed. Are you suggesting that you can come off the grid?
That would be the ultimate goal, and certainly on a property like this, there's 720 odd cows being milked here. So we could very definitely go off grid here by a combination of all 3 of the energy types I spoke of.
Now, I want to know more about this hole in the ground business, because to most people that's real smoke and mirrors stuff.
Yes, a lot of people in New Zealand hear the word geothermal and they think of Taupo and Rotorua and those sort of places, and they're right, that is geothermal energy. However, there are other forms of geothermal energy, what we refer to as low temperature geothermal, and that is simply the energy which is stored in the surface of the earth itself. When you go down a few metres, you'll find that things start to heat up. In fact, they stay at a temperature far higher than the ambient temperature. By the time you're down 15 metres, that temperature is stable. Doesn't move much between summer and winter, night or day, wet season, dry season. So if you can harness that energy and bring that to the surface, where you can then connect it to, say, a refrigeration plant to use to cool the milk on a farm, or to the hot water cylinders used for washing the dairy down at the end of milking, then that energy Of course, the sun gave it to you, you've got it for free, there are no moving parts required to get it to the surface. All we're doing is using the law of fluid, one of the laws of fluid dynamics, which is the law of equilibrium, where if you put two substances together, their heat or their temperature will match over time. So if you've got a nice warm constant temperature under your feet and we put some cold water down there, that water will come to the surface having absorbed the energy from the earth. Likewise, we take some hot water from the surface because it's just gone through and taken that heat from the milk and put it down the hole, then it discharges that heat into the earth. And so by that simple process we can use it to heat the hot water and chill the milk.
Bryan, it's been trialled and proved in the Northern Hemisphere?
Yeah, it's a pretty common practice. Low temperature geothermal in Europe, Canada and the United States is an everyday way of heating. If you look at Germany, for instance, they've got 300,000 geothermal closed loop systems operating throughout the country, and an awful number of those for domestic heating. Here in Christchurch, 8 of the new buildings going up for the rebuild have geothermal heating and cooling. Christchurch International Airport has used geothermal energy for heating and cooling for the last decade. So it's not new technology, as I said before. It's just a new way of applying it, and this idea of bringing it all onto one network.
So I guess if you do use all three, you can totally cut your electricity bills. They'll be gone. Yes,
it's about lowering that cost of production. If you're not paying the power bill, you're using what you've already got, which you got for free, your cost of production goes down.